just finally finished the shoveling from the recent heavy snowfall that we got here in the DC area. And this snowfall was a little different than most. For one, it was a lot more. And then for the other, we got, as you all know, a whole bunch of sleet at the end that really packed that snow down, made it really heavy, and increased the load for a lot of us that had to go outside and take care of our driveway and our sidewalks. So what I wanted to talk about today is some of the health risk factors. Of course, we'll focus on some of the things that we see here at Cohen Health and Performance. And one of the first things I do want to mention is that, as I'm sure many of you know, that many cardiac events happen when people go out to shovel in heavy snowfall. There's a variety of different reasons for that. That has to do with the increased strain on the heart that corresponds with the cold weather, and then of course the heavy physical load. So for those of you out there, if you are over the age of 45, maybe you have some health factors like high cholesterol, diabetes, things like that, just make sure to be careful. So I want to make sure that that's known. Now, as I come in, my body's feeling it a little bit. My shoulder's a little sore. My back is definitely sore. And back injuries are one of the most common things we see whenever we have an event like this. And the reasons have to do with that cold weather I mentioned earlier, right? Our tissues are a little stiffer. Oftentimes we don't warm up like we would for a more traditional workout as we go out there. So things are a little stiffer, tighter, and then we're asking our bodies, to lift and twist in kind of awkward directions over and over and over again. Combined with the fact that the snow oftentimes is a lot heavier than we think. Oftentimes they say that snow is often 2 to 3 times heavier than we initially estimate. And I can tell you, I certainly was surprised by the load on the shovel in many instances. Also, if we think of just the mechanics of the shovel itself, the shovel is out in front of us. So when we lift weights with somebody at our clinic or in our gym, one of the things we want to teach them is if they're doing a deadlift, for instance, to keep the weight close to the body so we're not awkwardly reaching over when we're lifting the weights. And with a shovel, a lot of times the opposite occurs. The weight is way out in front of us, creating an awkward effect where we're sort of bending and rounding, and then we're gonna have to twist to throw it. So all these mechanics create a lot of strain combined with the weather. So what do we do about it? Well, for one, let's think about it like a workout. Take yourself through a little bit of a warm-up, meaning that we should do some dynamic stretches, make sure we're almost sweating a little bit. I'll put a couple of videos interspersed into this so that you can see some examples. And then make sure you're hydrated during this, of course. That is actually helpful for back issues and just health in general. But right, with the cold and the dry air, that can happen quicker than necessary. And I know when I took off my beanie today, it certainly had a little sweat in it as well. And then after, if you're feeling a little sore, a little tight, and maybe even if not, it's worth doing a couple exercises such as the ones being demonstrated here to just get the back to relax a little bit, incorporate some relaxed breathings to get those tissues to calm down a little bit. And that can hopefully help you feeling a lot better the next day, and any soreness that occurs, hopefully help that dissipate. So if you're somebody though who maybe is feeling a little uncomfortable, that had an injury or maybe tweaked your back a little bit when you were shoveling, this is very common and there's a lot you can do about it. So contact us if you're looking for help in this area, and we would love to be able to help.